Welcome to another Quantum Conversation, brought to you by AcousticHealth.com. I'm Loren Gailey, and I invite you to sit back as we enter the quantum realm, that space of the greater part of you. It is your connection to infinite possibilities, infinite potential, and infinite mastery. And welcome, everyone. Get ready for our high vibrational show today. We are here with Sanandaji and Shekinah Ma, a beautiful divine couple here assisting the evolution of humanity and the entire ascension process. Hello, Sanandaji and Shekinah Ma. Welcome.
Blessings.
Hi, beloved Lauren. Thank you.
Blessings,
Yes.
beloved Lauren. It's always a pleasure and joy to be with you and your audience.
We are delighted to have you here again, and you share your information. What a beautiful backdrop you have. This is in your Twin Ray temple where you're located. Tell us more about your location.
We're in Southern Oregon, and we're up in the foothills of the south, and we get to look over the beautiful town below, and it's just a beautiful space. We've had a lot of weather changes, actually. We're in the middle of beginning of summer, yet it was just raining and downpouring on our end for a few days.
Very good.
Yeah, which is always welcomed and beautiful.
Very good.
We have
the way it is.
Yeah, this is very, very sacred land. This has a beautiful history. There's many power places, sacred nodes, vortexes. It's on a direct line that goes all the way through Shasta, Cascade mountain ranges. It's a really profound prophetic space, and we're so blessed to steward it.
Oh, this is different. This is a new location than your California location. Is this something that's new for you both?
Yes.
Oh goodness, not for the last. We've been here a couple of years.
Yeah,
now.
we've been here a couple of years, so it's been some time. But
yes.
So this is our new sanctuary of Twin Ray.
You did not know, beloved Lauren, that we had.
I didn't know that you had left the Escondido. Was it Encinitas?
Yes, Rancho Santa Fe, Escanitas. Yes.
Okay, all right. Well, it is wonderful to see this arena and the beauty that is around you, and it seems like you're in a really good spot. So wonderful. Okay, here we're talking about the new divine human. Let's first catch up with you on this year, this very transformational year. I know people are feeling both ends of the spectrum. We're feeling incredible bliss, incredible divine feminine energy and support. And there's also some who feel and experience some intensity. And at times, each of us can feel the go-between between both of those feelings on the spectrum. We can feel the whole thing. Can you share more on what's happening and what we're all experiencing?
Yeah. This year is another catalyst year, and it's been accelerating. Everyone has noticed there's a tremendous acceleration, and as we've come out of that 2-year cycle that many had faced and brought up a lot of new ways to live, essentially, we're now at this return where just a few days ago it was literally the Day of Independence, and that obviously signified the Declaration of Independence. And that significant moment in history is actually going through a full rebirth, where the Pluto positioning of that moment in time when that declaration was signed and that was agreed upon, and it was the birth of the United States, we're going through this rebirthing of that process. So everything that the United States stood for, and that is not in the original blueprint and not in the original architecture, the original template that was seeded by the founding fathers, that is going through a rebirth. And we actually have now just entered into, we're just a few days away from this next return. There's 3 returns of Pluto that's transitioning that very degree of that point. And it happened first in February. A lot happened in February. A lot of the structures all around the world are literally crumbling and systems are changing. There's readaptation that's occurring. And we're in that next phase. And there's going to be another 3rd return at the end of the year. So this 2022 is the master builder. But in order to build, you have to have literally the whole grounds, the whole ground zero, cleared, and the stability to be built upon, because there's all these new systems, there's all these new technologies that are coming, this whole new group consciousness that we're moving towards. So one that feels the bliss, they're more unified, you're more in resonance, you've prepared in some way. And then when you're not in that bliss, you check in. Where's the dissonance? Where's the disconnect? Where's the fear? What's coming up? Where's the beliefs that are limiting? There's a lot that's playing out right now. That's just astrologically. I mean, we can go into cosmically what's happening at the energetic level as the earth is being rebirthed as well. And then it's also unique for each individual.
And what's so important to share and for everyone to really tune into is that what's happening is that through the depths of excavation, people's unconscious processes are coming to the surface, and they are being reflected in politics, and they are being reflected in world affairs, and they are being reflected in all these different ways that are in fact the mirror of people's own unconscious processes that they go through every day at the micro level, at the smallest, what would seem like the least significant levels. For example, when they talk to themselves in the mirror, what are the ways in which they speak to themselves? How do they communicate and interface with that reflection? Are they transparent? Are they sharing of their heart? Are they forgiving? And thus, if that is not the case, which it is not on a large scale, what is happening is that the world is going to reflect that. And in fact, it must, because if not, these structures that we're here to build, all of us, the golden age, cannot be built on anything that has holes in it, cannot be built on anything that is not absolutely stable and crystallized and Christalized in order for the next evolution and involution to occur.
So this is what's going on our planet right now, and as we look outward, it is best to always return inward and focus on that inward journey. Yeah. And our own alignment and the mirror, as you say. How do we speak to ourselves? Well, we're certainly seeing things that we don't wish to see. We certainly see the opportunity to choose a different way, to choose that higher perspective, to choose the alignment within ourselves rather than getting caught up in the external distractions that are out there. Yes. So as you guys have moved through this year so far with this transformation, your names have a transformation as well. Here we have Sanandaji and Shekinah Ma. How did this come about? Tell us what's up with you guys.
Well, we are here. We are really here for the world, for the children. So it isn't so much what's up with us. It's what is the next evolution, the next role essentially that we've said, yes, it's time to fully step into right now and accept that and move in that way. And complete transparency in doing so.
Yeah, and Ma obviously being the mother, Shekinah is that embodiment of the mother and that representation, and really the role that she plays and we play. And G was actually an endearment that as someone very special in our life had passed, and her name was Grandma G. And as she transitioned, she was a part of our lineage, our spiritual lineage. And being a part of Babaji, and Babaji was her main teacher and also my main teacher. So we had the same teacher, and she was literally like a spiritual grandma. And as she passed,
For the world.
yeah, she was she was
She was the
literally
world
one of the
grandma.
greatest healers that the world will never know, and one of
That's
the most purest beings, like saintly beings, that the world will never know. And she was never interested really to be known. She just went about her days in grace and in just service, divine service and love. And she was just a fountain of wisdom and of knowledge, and just a powerhouse, really.
Every breath was, how can she serve?
Yeah,
How can she
yeah.
help? How can she give?
And she asked me to take on the G, and and there was so because she asked, I did so.
And it was the same for me with what she knew I held and would hold for the world.
Yeah, so it was just an acknowledgement of someone very close to us and part of our family, and also represents the lineage, that we hold, and our role that we uphold for the world in our service.
Yeah, so beautiful. Thank you for honoring her and yourselves by changing that name or adding that to your names. We can feel the vibration of that, and I actually feel her. And what a humble being, very humble. And the work, it illustrates that we can come here to this planet and be on the planet and do that service work without the fame, without that great recognition. And I know there's many beings of light that are here to do that. And it's a great lesson for all of us, because there is no ego there. And so how is it since she's passed? Are you in communication? Have you had dreams? Do you want to share any of that journey of her leaving?
Yeah, she's a full mystic. She's an immortal being. So she just drops one body.
She's just in a different body.
She just picks up another body. She's at the level where she can create her own bodies, and so she just dropped one body and she just picked up another one. And right now she's in the Himalayas. Actually, she's in the Himalayas, and she's returned with Babaji and being there. So, and she has many different roles as well. So she's a cosmic grandma. So she's
like a bodhisattva.
Yeah. She definitely has that role as well. Yeah,
she was pure devotion.
She was pure devotion
itself.
like a
she is pure devotion.
Beautiful bhakta. And yeah, so she's been to this planet a few times. I think she incarnated a few times beforehand, but she went back to the Himalayas to spend just time in that type of isolation, in that type of different reality, essentially, as well.
Wow.
She's very special, and she still comes through, and she'll manifest if she needs, and then share and speak to us if she needs. But yeah, she basically, a lot of the wisdom that she had been given, and a lot of the work that she had done, like this being that we speak of could literally look at anybody and just know exactly what's wrong with them, or what their past is, what their future will be. And that's at the level that's we must operate at to be a true teacher, to really be a true teacher of that art. And so there was,
and she knew we could do that.
Yeah, so for us, she was really wanting us to step into this role that we're playing, and we're here to support and bring forth a lot of the golden age teachings from the past era that have been lost. And we've got many stories about the different amazing moments, just are unbelievable, but you would read in like stories that would just were our days together and our days continuing.
And continuously.
Yeah, but really humility, devotion, that would be the definition of her soul and her being.
She was pure saintliness.
Very much like the grandmother Anna as well, very much that embodiment.
Yes, we can feel that essence and feel the vibration. All right, so just one more question on
That's
that.
very
before we-
indigenous.
What's that?
Very indigenous.
Yeah, she held the skin of the white buffalo.
The white buffalo.
So one question that I hear from our audience and myself as well is, so she passed, and it seems like there was a very short time in between lives, and she's back already. Is she in a physical form in the Himalayas? And what did she walk in? Do you know, did she walk into another grown body, or is she a child?
Yeah, a grown body.
Body.
Yeah.
So that's fascinating. Any story that you want to share there?
Well, there's a sacred teaching here as well. Is that there's 3 different levels of your luminal template, your luminal form, your light body. Essentially, you can activate that and you can ground it. You have a bioenergetic field, you have a physical body, you have all the subtle layers. The role of this is to embody all of the layers so you have one unified field, and then you open that field up to become one with the unified field of spirits, of consciousness. And then so there's the higher immortal body, the body of spirits. There's the subtle bodies, and then there's the gross body, the physical body, the body of matter. There is a sacred process that you can teach and entrain how to actually multiply those bodies. And so when you drop one body, you can use the subtle body to then you drop into another form. And so this is where you can actually change and exchange your mind and your awareness and your consciousness, and actually have multiple bodies as well.
The ancient Egyptians did it quite well.
Yeah, the ancient Egyptians and also rishis, and this is a rishic science. So this is actually once it's an ability that can be mastered, just like any ability in this world. And you just have to understand just the subtle instrument of your light body and become more aware of the fields and actually how to work with that. And then you can drop the physical body, you can keep the higher sheaths intact, and then you can reincarnate at will if needed. Or you can actually produce a physical body and have that physical body ready and available, so you can drop one body and pick another one up. Or you can even go further and just help the immortalization process of one body and help sustain that and allow that body to actually rejuvenate. And you don't have to leave the body.
She went through door number 2.
Yeah, so she went through door number 2.
She chose door number 2.
So there's a bit of a teaching here when it comes to this ancient science.
Yes, it is fascinating. It is really fascinating. And this is what you all are teaching and working with as well in your life, is this light body. Do you want to share anything more about this teaching of the light body and how we begin to build our awareness of it? Or maybe what do we have to do? I guess there's a spiritual initiation. There's a number of initiations that we need to pass through before we have these abilities. Is this what you guys are working towards? And is this the evolution of all of us?
So the light body itself, there's different variations of that, and we'll get into that as we expand upon that concept. Is it the destiny for everyone? I wouldn't say so. What we share is that your bioenergetic field, right? You have your physical body, you have the emotional body, mental body, your astral body, you have the causal, the akashic, that holds all the akashic records of your memories of your soul. So it's more like a soul. memory, and then you've got the higher soul body, the atmic body, and then there's also the celestial body, the body that actually connects you more to the higher realms, so to speak. So those higher levels of your body, they're accessed when the lower bodies are purified. So really, how do you purify them? Well, the key part of that is devotion, being devoted, living your life of service, being in selfless service, living your dharma, living your karma, being an example of virtue, allowing yourself to express that purifies the heart and purifies the mind. That is the sort of the foundational work. And then doing the inner deep dives of the shadow diving, purifying the psyche and the psychology of one's own conditioning. So that's essential to really access. You can sort of tap into those higher level bodies, but if you're not purified in the lower bodies, then you'll keep slingshotting back into where you have to work, essentially. Now, is it people's destiny to be able to manifest another body? We won't teach that, by the way. Yes, we know that science. Yes, we have that. We're keepers of that, but we won't teach that unless you're ready at a level that actually you can demonstrate that you're prepared for that. And that's what we feel is essential, is that you have to demonstrate that you're prepared for those higher teachings.
Well, it's an enormous responsibility to hold even a thread of that understanding. It's an enormous responsibility to know that you can create a body at will in that way. It is
and it's not trivial.
It is beyond a blessing to know how to do that, and that you have cultivated enough energy so that you can birth a body like that.
Yeah.
So purification is vital, because without it, you cannot cultivate.
Yeah, and it's not something trivial as well. It's not something that that sounds cool, so I would like to try that. It's like a devoted path. You have to be all in for all life. Like really, you have to be so dedicated, but that's not the point of the spiritual path anyway. It's not so I can have an immortal body, or if I can have it's actually to realize God. That's the whole point of the spiritual path, is to realize truth, to realize God, to realize self, to realize love at the core of your being, and allow that to be manifested into the totality of your manifested presence.
That's right. And then those gifts, as we call them, they are the blessings that are bestowed once you get there. Yeah. It is what awaits you. It is not what comes first before, to thus prove that there is this presence we speak of.
Yeah,
it does not work.
And all these cities, these different abilities, they come, but they can also be a distraction. The whole point is to free yourself, truly free yourself. And then whatever gifts that come along the way, you can use them for your dharma, to be of greater service. That's the whole point of having any type of abilities, whether it's just the ability to heal, which is a profound ability, just to be able to heal yourself. That's a gift. To heal others, what a blessing. So that's when you understand that these higher esoteric sciences, they come from cultivation. Cultivating what? Cultivating that pure primordial life force, that pure cosmic energy. And when you cultivate that, you unlock certain biocircuitry systems in the physical body and in the energetic body. And then your inner circuitry system starts communicating with your outer energetic fields. And this is where we go into the realm of bioenergetics. The bioenergetic, bio means life and light, and energy is obviously the energetics of light or life. And so your bioenergetic field, it's fully intelligent. It's actually the container that holds the physical body. So what happens, what we speak of the light body, is when you actually have all the levels and layers coherently aligned, that they're all stacked in and they're working and operating as one unified field. All your chakras are coherently aligned, you're coherent, and you have one light body that you actually give. There's a process that you give birth to that. You essentially turn into light. And then you come back. And this seems really profound. This seems like, this is incredible, which it is. But at the same time, you are actually flashing in and out of reality right now.
I was just going to say
you're flashing your particles, that you're flashing in and out of reality. You think you're solid. You think you have this physical body, but it's flashing. The Buddhists call it kalapas. but really it's like an on-off switch that's happening at such a millisecond. And in fact, everything is. Every solid thing is actually doing the same thing. So what happens with your awareness when you start bringing your awareness so distilled, so precise, and you come into this deep, deep, deep alignment, you transcend mind, which is actually holding the whole objective, subjective reality together. You transcend that and it just births into this luminosity.
Empty vastness.
And that's when your body actually births into light and your field births into light. And then you integrate that back into one cohesive field. And then that also births and multiplies into other more complex geometries and formulations and templates. But so this process of the light body is to realize the light as your source and yourself, to realize love at the center of your being. And you go through these initiations, you go through your inner hero's journey and your outer hero's journey. And it's beautiful. And then what happens when you get to a certain level, there's certain responsibilities. You just can't deviate. You cannot deviate. There's no more complaining anymore. You give that up. There's no more this duality. There's no us versus them model. You see reality clearly. You can discern like a laser sharp pointer pointing through any distortions and seeing the truth. And then you realize that truth to be yourself, as well as the totality of all that is.
And really, at that level, there's a realization of the self as you're sort of getting there. Once you're there, there's no question to be answered and no answer to be had.
Yeah, you've literally unlocked the golden key that accesses all doors, unlocks all questions, and is the answer to every problem that's seemingly and there's no suffering anymore. So to truly be there, what that means, and this is the promise, that every prophet, every saint, every seer, every true master, every true spiritual leader, whatever embodiment that they had, whatever time that they incarnated into, they truly went all the way into full Christhood, into full Buddhahood, full liberation, realization. They had unlocked that one truth that heals all suffering. And then at that, through true free will, there's this choice point where it's like, what do I do with this? Do I teach others this? Do I share others? Do I point to this truth for others to help find this? Or do I just abide in this? Because it's actually, it's all that one thing. It's all divinity. So, but then what happens is that certain beings have certain roles, and it's actually written in your astrology. That's why you can't force such. It's actually destined within your astrological alignments. And then there's certain realizations that happen that you are in service to that. And then you're in service to that for all. And that's really what is known as, traditionally as a bodhisattva, one that has actually already made that realization. They're fully realized.
But will not go anywhere.
And they are destined to support all life, all in for all life, to support not just the humans, but all planes of existence and realms of existence, to realize that totality.
So it's almost like the bodhisattva keeps their causal body, essentially.
Exactly. They keep the causal body intact.
It keeps the causal body intact so that there is the ability to come back in and out when needed in form and structure. Yeah. The next level to that is not the bodhisattva. It is one who is complete. And that means that they have basically released all vows as well, because the bodhisattva holds vows that allows them to reach that very last pinnacle, so to speak, that dissolves them.
Yeah.
That way there is no one to help, there's no one to solve, there's nothing to build, there's nothing to create. There is only the totality of perfection of infinity.
So, and this is the thing, is when that realization is fully and truly realized, you actually have free will then. So you can reincarnate back in if you wish. You can go to other systems and help, that process. You can whatever is a part of your calling through service, because that's really what it all amounts to. It's just service. Everyone is actually in service at some level, and if they're
For
not
something.
if they're not in service to others, they're in their service to self model, which that needs to buckle. And that's why the world is in this chaotic appearance, because there's so many selfish tendencies that people are playing out.
What can I get? What can the world give me?
Yeah. And
how can I maneuver, manipulate, and create something so that the world can give to me?
Yeah.
That's not going to give you anything but a fall.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's why we're really seeing the chaos, because if the world was really if people in the collective were actually upholding Dharma, and thank you for all the many beautiful beings that are upholding that Dharma, because you're offsetting that perceivable chaos to change the way that the collective mind and the collective heart is responding. And so at the higher level, you have that free will, that you're no longer making decisions from your conditioning. You're no longer playing out the script of your soul and the programming that, oh, I have to do this because of to please others, or you have to complete this karma. You've freed that. And what happens when you free that is that you become a light for this world. And any degree of the path that you're on, in order to realize the totality of love, you're still a light for this world. You're still walking that noble path. And it's not a path that has, a higher level. You can't bypass the natural process. Just like a seed can't instantly become the fruit.
A tree.
It has to go through its sprouting process. It has to, become a seedling. It has to sprout and grow a trunk and grow its branches and bear fruit. And that's really what someone that's really there, not just wants to appear that they're there on the weekends or when they're in front of somebody else, but they're really there. They're truly there, and then they don't waver, don't move from there. That's when they can give those fruits of the Holy Spirit, the fruits of the divine.
That's when they are given the fruits of the Holy Spirit with which to share.
And to share them, yeah, and to have that
in full abundance,
yeah,
not sparsely.
So I hope that answers your question. I'm not sure if it does, but it. But yeah, the light body is really the evolution of the soul being fully incarnated. And as it fully incarnates, it evolves to more of the oversoul and more of that overlining presence, the field, as the higher self. And yeah, so that is the beautiful journey of that's pure light that each one of you are, is how can you embody that? And there is a process to do such.
We see you, beloved Lauren, just even being here with us, your energy field is changing in its color and in its geometry, and it's becoming brighter and brighter. So we hope you can feel that as well.
This would be a beautiful time for you to assist us in realizing ourselves as the source of self and light body coherence.
So for everyone that's still here, it's quite interesting. We have Lauren, but she doesn't see us and she's coming in and out. So everyone seems to hear us both, which is beautiful.
Yeah.
What we want to share is in the age that we're moving into as well. And we're in, but technology, systems, all the structures that are happening right now in the world, they are essentially evolving. And where are they evolving to? There's a lot of technology that creates dissonance. And what we mean by that is, like, it creates EMFs, it creates radiation. There's no coherent signal, really. It's outdated. It's an outdated model, because what it doesn't do is put into the very fabric of its makeup one unifying principle, that it focuses on the matter and the 0.0001% of which is the appearance of the solidity, but it doesn't take into account the unified field.
Substratum.
Doesn't take into account the energy that we're all in and a part of, that unified one presence. And there is technology that's being for many, many years. I mean, this has been happening since the 50s, since the 60s, where there has been geniuses that have been trying to apply the simple dynamics of nature, of how everything's connected in that more unified field, how everything is related and interconnected and interrelated together. And so with technology, when the frequency is just not a match, sometimes it will combust, sometimes it will switch off, sometimes it will just, unfortunately, not align, and it goes into dissonance or creates dissonance. And so what that can translate as is noise in the field, static in the field. And so it's time to move into this age, this new age, this golden age, where there's resonance, where there's coherence, where technology isn't going against nature, it's actually enhancing it, it's actually supporting, it's working on the same principles, very foundation that our biology operates through, and so does everything in nature, nature is always nurtured by that one principle of interconnected unity. And that's really where we're evolving. And so right now at the collective level, everyone's going through that polarity integration. They're going through the dissonance. They're going through what's dissonant in their thoughts, in their emotions, in their beliefs, in their construction of their own identity of themselves. That all has to fold, and it's going to give way to something really brilliant. The energetic broadcast that's coming to the earth, the movement of the awakening that's happening for the collective. You know, it's amazing what's actually occurring when you truly tune in with your heart. And each one of you know this. Each one of you are playing a role with this. So let's do a meditation that helps support that coherency to the true self, to love, to the field, to spirit, to God, to divine.
It's important to share that everyone here and everyone in the world is either doing one of two things at any time, contributing to dissonance or contributing to resonance. And it is your choice as to what your thoughts are and what your transmissions are that thus feeds one or feeds the other. So in this moment, we're going to invite you to contribute to resonance.
And what is resonance? Let's quickly just unpack that. And what's the purpose of it? Resonance, you know, you've all felt that, right? When you resonate with something, you feel, oh yeah, that it's something that you can feel inside your heart. Yeah, and the resonance as well, scientifically, is say if we played a tuning fork and we just played C, letter C, any other tuning fork in its vicinity that receives that vibration will also start resonating. And that's the whole point of having a teacher, having a guide. So you can actually start resonating to that frequency of truth, the truth of your own being. So what happens is when you actually find a teacher and you come into contact with the teacher that's transmitting that truth, transmitting that love, that's in harmony and resonance with your own heart, all the dissonance in your life starts being dissolved. But sometimes you're attached to that dissonance.
And it can be very confronting.
Sometimes those identities, those physicalities you're attached to, but they're actually not good for you in the sense of this true form of resonance. So they start dissolving, and then panic starts happening, when really surrender should happen.
And when panic happens, you want to control and grab on just a little bit tighter.
Or what can happen is you start resonating and everything just starts illuminating, and you just start going at a fast pace, and everything just starts unlocking, and all the obstacles start getting removed, and you start feeling that connection that you truly have been looking for your entire life.
And that is according to your level of surrender.
And your willingness to go deep and really be unwavering in your commitment to the path. And then through that resonance, as you're resonating, you're harmonically inducted into higher levels of being operative in your life. So this is the beauty. This is the beauty that unfolds when you start living a more sattvic, a more pure, that's what sattvic means. It means purity, a more pure life, a more virtuous life.
It means no resistance, no push-pull in your life.
It means bliss. There's no friction.
There's no friction. There's nothing to rub against.
Yeah, there's no rub. You're not rubbing against something. You're actually, it's the principle of how Buddha called it was dukkha and sukha. You know? Dukkha is that rough ride. It's a rocky road when it's like, oh, I don't know. How can I get off this road? This is unstable. This is not feeling good. This is not right. Sukha is the happiness. Oh, it's a smooth ride. You know, you're gliding. So let's do a meditation and help that support. Who would like to do that? Who would like to join us in the meditation?
Everyone.
Okay. Let's take a deep breath. Love Shekinah, would you love to take this meditation?
Let's everyone take one beautiful collective breath. Let's begin to transport you from where you are. Whatever distractions, just find your focal point inside of your heart. See if you can see it. Just look at that focal point inside of your heart. What does it feel like? See if you can assign a sensation to it. Is it tingly? Is it warm? Just breathe into it right now, that focal point of your heart. And allow it to begin expanding, gently and slowly, as quickly as it would like to. And as it expands, it begins to envelop you little by little, bit by bit. Just really allow yourself to feel the expansion of that focal point of your heart. And keep allowing it to expand, enveloping you until you can no longer feel body anymore. Until you begin to notice your awareness is no longer in one focal point, but it has also expanded beyond your normal everyday awareness. Just take a moment to notice that. And as you notice that, you feel yourself lighter and light. And you see yourself brighter and brighter, more and more radiant with every breath you take. Continuing to expand beyond your current reality, beyond your current expression and experience. And as you keep expanding, you begin to dissolve even more. All thoughts become emptiness. all experiences become dust in the wind and part of the one as it returns. And you notice the light that you are emanating is now a part in connection with all other light in the universe. Radiant and beautiful and constant and consistent. Does not fluctuate. It does not require anything. It does not seek anything, for it already is. Stay there. In this place, there are no questions and no answers. There is only the power of the present moment, that eternal bliss of love. There is only the truest nature of your formlessness, abiding in that beauty, abiding in that presence and awareness we know as love. This is the place one creates from. This is the place and the energy that the rest of the physical world borrows from. It is here you may return, and it is here you will return to. When the transition completes itself. The empty fullness, creation itself, which is this love, and you are this love. You are the beauty of this love, the majesty of this love, and the fullness of this love, needing no thing, for you are now in the no thingness, which is all and everything. And stay here. And now we begin to return into a more focal expression, returning all of this energy that you've collected, all that you are, all of this light, it connects to all light, all over the universe. Begin to make the choice now to return back to that focal point in your heart and bring all of this back with you, stepping fully and completely into that light, to that glory, to that love that is full and complete, that is eternal, that cannot be added to and can never be taken from. Return, return, return all of that light. Bring it into your center column of light, moving it into the focal point of your heart that is now all encompassing of the beauty and the wonder and the magnificent being of light that you truly are. This is your home. It is the light, it is the love, and it is this peace. And this is you.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Incredibly beautiful and all in divine order. Yes. How beautiful to move through a technical challenge, but yet again you took us to a place where there's no complaining, there's no words, there's no questions, there's no answers, and it's all in divine order. Thank you. Thank you, thank you.
How is everyone feeling in return?
Share, please. This is a beautiful time if anybody has a question or a sharing. And Kathy, I see your question. Your question came in before the meditation, so I wonder if that still is relevant or if you feel lighter and better. Yes. Because I think that what we've just gone through actually, yes, raised everyone's vibration. Thank you. We are all feeling lighter and more peaceful. Fiona says, so much peace. Thank you. I feel how intangible it is. And although part of me wants to hold on to it, feel something tangible, I sense how the more I simply surrender and let go, the more I am in it. So thank you. Valerie says, I am divine love and light. Beautiful. So I thank you. and I'm in gratitude for that. Thank you for listening to this quantum conversation, and thank you for dancing with us to the cosmic heart. As we raise our own vibration, we raise the vibration of the planet. This show is dedicated to you and all awakening hearts, as we are here to shine our bright light and amplify our love. Access all quantum conversations, special offers from our guests, and online healing retreats by visiting acoustichealth.com. I'm Loren Gailey, and from my sacred heart to yours, I honor your magnificent love and light. We leave you now with music from the universe. Music literally created by the universe, as musical notes were assigned to mathematical equations. The result is this beautiful music, available at acoustichealth.com. Namaste.